Great start. Great start, guys. Hello! Now you should be hearing me. Welcome to the post FP3 pre-deadline stream. Thank you for showing up. It's early morning, as you can tell by me not having my stuff fixed. Good morning. Thank you so much for showing up earlier today. I have to leave for work in about an hour's time. Hopefully I can go all the way up until 7. But yeah, we have a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to decide on. I mean, just the decision making today is going to be massive. Boom audio, good to go. Welcome everyone. I'm going to tweet out, blue sky out that we are live. Get some people going in here, and then we will begin today's agenda, which is deciding what to do. And if you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the chat. Today's team submissions part will be shorter because the stream is shorter, but if you haven't, go into the Discord channel link at the bottom of the description and leave your team in the team submissions channel for a chance of me taking a look at your team a bit later on. Live now. Hashtag Japanese GP deadline-ish stream. And something like that. It'll doesn't have to be fancy. It's too early to be fancy today. It is too early to be fancy today. New posts. Boom. And then we will use the Discord as well. Announcements. Live now. Perfect. All right, let's see who is here, who is joining us for today's early morning stream. Fraser, you should join me and Limitless that team. I don't think so. but maybe. I could maybe be persuaded. But thank you so much, Fraser, for that super chat. That is very, very nice of you. Haas or Racing Bulls? If I had to pick one, I would probably pick Haas. Just because of the percentage increase, and that's sort of why you're picking them. Let's see here. Let's add a little. There you go. Don't forget to like the stream, guys, and we'll get started talking about it. Okay, so Limitless is interesting. I've definitely considered it, but I think I'm putting it off. Though, considering the team I have, it might not be all too bad doing the Limitless. The problem with doing the Limitless, okay, let me describe the problem with Limitless here, is that I have a clear goal where I want to get this team to, and if I don't make a transfer this week, I'm not going to be able to reach that goal next week, meaning that I essentially delay my plans going forward. I feel forced to at least use one transfer this week to set up my team for next week. So while Limitless is good for the budget building strategy I am on, I'm a bit worried that essentially not using a transfer now is going to make it more difficult next week. How worried am I about the rain? How worried am I about the rain? I'm not too worried. But it does linger in the back of my mind. but considering the chance of rain, the odds of rain, I feel like I can't really factor it into my decision making today at all. No negative has not been in my mind at all. I'm saving no negative specifically for Spa or Brazil, at least personally. So for my team, I can't really factor in the rain currently. Is Yuki a valid pick? It's really interesting with Yuki, right? Where was he in FP3? Practice 3. Yuki was 9th. Yeah, I don't know about Yuki, man. I think Yuki's a wait and see for me. One of the reasons for that is that we don't know how his price change algorithm works. Some say that it's guaranteed going to be based off of the Liam Lawson points, but I'm not so sure about that. Is Lawson worth it? Similarly with Lawson, again, like Lawson could be really, really good value, but I don't know how they calculate his price changes. So for me, he's going to be in a void for this first week until we know. If Yuki is overpriced, I didn't really consider Liam Lawson overpriced previously. It's just that he had a bad start, so I wasn't considering picking him, and that Red Bull second seed is cursed. So I think Yuki could be good value, like next week maybe. Not that I would know how to get him in, but I could see myself running Yuki later on in the season if he can break that second Red Bull seed curse. Yeah, don't look at his FP2 time. He only had one flyer and it was worked. Yeah, so I mean, Yuki Tsunoda could definitely be an option. I'm just playing it on the safe side, both budget-wise. We don't know how it works in F1 Fantasy yet. And also just racing-wise, we haven't seen him race in that Red Bull yet, so we don't know how he's going to tame that car. So until we see that, I'm not considering him, but I'm not saying he won't be an option in the future. Yuki will be the driver of the day. I could see Yuki getting driver of the day, especially if he's like top 5, top 6. Yuki in a team with Piastri, McLaren, V-Carb, Haas Boys, and Hulk. I mean, that's kind of like the team I'm on, no? It's just that, imagine this was Yuki instead. But I'm just not going to get that this week, I don't think. RB over Merc. Constructor down the line, maybe. Possible. Good option as driver of the day. I agree that Yuki definitely has an increased chance of getting driver of the day on Sunday. But even then, he's not really been... I've not really factored him in as an option for my team this week. Not really. All right, but... I don't think I'm limitlessing, and I need to make a decision. And if you watched my final thoughts video yesterday, I'm still stuck on that one decision, and that is, do I need to get McLaren now? And I do see the point, and like, if I don't get McLaren now, I should probably limitless. Like, McLaren just looks so good. They've been top of each of the sessions. They are the team to beat this early on in the season, and we don't know how long that's going to continue for. Like, there could be upgrades, once we get past this triple header, that change the dynamics of the front of the field. But right now, McLaren look unbeatable, and especially on those long runs, and once they get low on fuel, tire deg is high for other cars. They just look so strong. Rain equals the playing field slightly, but we saw Lando perform in the rain. Piastri did do well in the rain, apart from that one unfortunate spin that he had. When should we be bringing Merc in? I think you could bring in Merc literally this week if you could. For me, it's probably like in a 2 or 3 weeks time type of deal. So I don't know what to do, and I need your guys' help. Like, that's why we're live today. I need your guys' help. Normally, I'm the one like, oh, I can show. I'm helping you guys, but I desperately need your guys' help today. So, are we ready to? All right, I need you guys to warm up your head. Just rub those temples. Get your brain power. I'm gonna build you guys a timeline because we need to figure this out. I need to save my team. Current budget for my team, 101.9 million. So I've recovered pretty well with this budget building strategy, right? Here's the question. Do I get McLaren in now and essentially eat a 0.6 loss, getting Hajar or Bortoleto in? Do I do this now? Or do I wait one more week? Do I go without McLaren Constructor for one more week? That is essentially the question. Crisis waits. Because I could go for one more week, just like change Albon to Behrman or something. Wait 1 week, go McLaren and Piastri. McLaren and Piastri is the future option. Hadger is problematic in the rain. If I'm buying one of them, it's probably Bortoleto, to be honest. Radio Paddock F1 is onto something, guys. Drop that like. Don't be selfish. Like the stream. I appreciate it. -6 versus 50 less points. That's the thing. It's a lot of points. But if I go for McLaren now, I am kind of committing to a -10. Not this week, but I'm probably doing a -10 in the future. So I definitely see the point with this. Like, how much do you actually focus on budget building? The thing is, it would feel so nice because you do say, like, this is the thing, James. You say 0.6, it's going to be way more than a 0.6. Because imagine Bortoleto is going to drop another 0.6 unless the cap is at 4.5 million. We think the cap is 4 million, if I'm not mistaken. So I lose 0.6 million on Bortoleto, but I also lose 0.3 million from Kimi Antonelli. So that's 0.9. And I likely lose 0.3 million from this asset, from Williams versus McLaren as well. So it's likely 1.2 million, if not more. And if we count in the fact that I would likely do Albon to Behrman instead of the other option, whereas Behrman is more likely to increase 0.6 than Albon is, it could be as much as 1.6 million. So this, minus 0.6 versus 50 less points, if it's 1.6 million and 50 less points, like there are big swings here. Don't do that. Points can be earned afterwards. Build a budget. Stay away from Albon. So the option here would be to go for this. And then in Bahrain, if I went for this team in Bahrain, I could either essentially just run this team one more time in Bahrain, or I could begin to move with a -10 towards McLaren, Mercedes, plus Piastri. And I would probably be able to afford Hajar here for a -10 in Bahrain. Or I could do McLaren Haas for one additional week and get McLaren Mercedes in Saudi Arabia. Hello, I was looking forward to your live. I'm from Argentina. Damn, what time is it in Argentina now? Is it like midnight? Piastri would be better so you don't have to eat budget. Swap out Norris, go Piastri and McLaren. That's the plan later on, but I can't do that this week, right? Like if I switch this to Piastri and I can't afford McLaren here, so I would have to sell one more. So it would be a -10 like already this week. So like why get a -10 for this when I can keep Norris and just do the Kimi Antonelli switch, especially since Kimi is an A-tier asset. So option one. Okay, we need like Canva. We need to like actually draw up the options here. Canva, what type of person am I? Ew, disgusting. It's MS Paint time, baby. You already know it's MS Paint time, baby. All right. You already know it's MS Paint time. We're so back. Oh, proper MS Paint. Okay, let me draw out the options for you guys, all right? So we have, we need to like have, this is gonna be like a table, okay? That is awful. Here we go. So we have option 1 and option 2, okay? Option 1, option 2. And here we have so Japan, because we need to look at this over multiple weekends, right? And then we have Bahrain, and then we have that's probably good, and then we have Saudi. Okay, so option 1 is what I just showed you. We do Williams to McLaren plus Antonelli to, let's say, Bortoleto for now, because I think I'd rather get Bortoleto than Hajar. All right, so this is Japan, and then in Bahrain we can do Haas to Mercedes, Norris to Piastri, and Albon. It's probably Hajar, right? It's very likely Hajar. There you go. And then with a -10 in Bahrain, and then just we profit. The other option, let's go back. Where is it? Here we go. Other option is what I showed you previously. This week, we just as simple. We build budget, we keep Antonelli, we keep Norris. One move, simple, Ole Behrman. Next week, now we can do probably we could probably keep Williams then. We do McLaren and Antonelli. And we could do a bit better in terms of, let's say it's Sainz, right? Because Sainz is gonna decrease another 0.6 million. He's gonna be at 11.2. So we play with this team. So let's go back to this. So this week we do Albon to Behrman. And then in Bahrain, we don't have to take a -10. We go Haas to McLaren. We do Norris to Piastri. And we do Antonelli to signs or better. Basically, like any asset we want, right? Signs or better. Now, I'm going to erase this, this, and just like show you the different teams we're on. So we don't have to do a -10 with the other option. So in Saudi here, we would be on a... in Saudi here, we would be on a... basically, McLaren plus a Mercedes build. With cheap drivers. Cheap drivers. Okay. Then, in this other team, we are on McLaren plus Williams with better drivers. Better, cheap drivers. Which one do we prefer? Why Stroll not only buying this? They're good in rain. I already have Ocon, and in terms of Stroll, I feel like I would want to sell Stroll after this week anyway, so I'd rather get Behrman. But Stroll is definitely like the second highest on my list to buy. Which one do we prefer? One or two, guys? One or two. 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 1. Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare. Start a poll. 1, 2. Alright. It's way too even. Alright, vote in the poll. I like the stream while you're at it. Which one do we prefer? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? So this is the like MCL build, and this is the like budget build. Option 2 is way better for budget, by the way. It's not even close. Like option 2 is gonna be way better for budget in the long run. But option 1 gives me more points now. It is very close. 55% team 1, 56% team 1, 55%. It's 55-45 for option 1. Oh, that is so brutal. That is unbelievably brutal. 54-46 is getting even closer. The thing is, I don't know which one I prefer either. I think there are upsides and downsides to both. I think team 1 definitely outscores team 2 in the short run. The question is, can team 2 with like an extra 1.6 million in budget gain that back later on in the season? Wow. You can make a lot of points later on with better asset, which comes with more budget. Yup, that is true. The question is it worth going without McLaren for one race to get to that? Haas did not do well, but I kind of get away from them because of budget. Sure, but like Haas did fantastic last week, and I could see them doing well again. Also, I just realized that the chat above me is not working, so that's fantastic. Let me try and fix that. Oh, fantastic. There you go. No, okay, it's not working. Whatever, I'll fix it for next week. All right, let's see. 55% say option 1. 77 votes. That is so close. I don't know what to do, man. I need to decide. It's 6 a.m. I have like at most an hour left on stream. Damn. Alright, thank you guys for helping me. You did not help at all. Why couldn't you all just agree on one strategy? No, McLaren is a huge loss for points. Best case scenario, you have an extra... For best case scenario, you have an extra 0.3 million. Best case scenario is not an extra 0.3 million. Best case scenario is like I have an extra 1.6 million. What do you think about VCARB team this GP? I am worried that they are going to qualify high and then drop off. But, yeah. Flip the coin. Am I actually going to decide, like, my next 3 game weeks on a coin flip? I'd do it for the content. I'm not opposed to just flipping a coin for this. The thing is, like, the main thing that hurts with Team 1, I really like this team in Saudi. McLaren, Mercedes, plus the cheaper drivers. I just don't like having to go. Like, the main thing I dislike is having to go to Bortoleto already. Because, like, this is a big budget loss that I gain on this side. Massive budget loss. Did you really have the budget to get Mercedes on in Bahrain? Yes, I do. After Hadjar decreases 0.6 million, I can afford this team. I'll show you. So right now, again, let's pretend we do the team 1. Oh no, that's not 1. Let's pretend we do the option 1. I get Gabriel Bortoleto and I get McLaren. I have 0.2 million in the bank. Then I would take a -10 in Bahrain to sell Albon, Norris, and Haas for Mercedes, Piastri, and as you can see, I'm only 4.5 million. I have 4.5 million here, and after Hadjar's drop in price, because Hadjar is going to drop 0.6 million in price, Hadjar is going to be 4.4, so I'm going to be able to afford it. As long as Haas doesn't drop in price, I can afford this team. Because I'm assuming both Norris and Piastri increase 0.3 million. I'm assuming Haas increases 0.6 million and Mercedes only increase 0.3. So I would actually be at 4.8 million here if everything goes as planned. And then I just need Hadjar to decrease in price and I can afford this team for a -10 in Bahrain. And then, yeah, I would be kind of locked into this sort of team. Whereas, like, the team two is definitely more flexible in which drivers I pick. But I also don't have McLaren plus Mercedes. And what was number 2? Number 2 is this week. Number 2 is this week. Just go for probably Behrman here. And then the weekend after, we keep Williams. So we get essentially Williams plus McLaren for at least like 1 or 2 race weekends, sorry. And then I am way more flexible with which drivers I want to pick for these drivers. So I would run this team in Bahrain without making any hits. For 3 transfers, I would get to this team. And then in Saudi, I would have 2 transfers and could maybe start working towards a Mercedes that way. Maybe something like maybe if I don't have science here, maybe if I were stuck to say what I would have, maybe Lance Stroll here instead. I could, like, I don't know. I would probably have to take a -10 to get to a McLaren Mercedes build anyway. So it would probably be after Saudi. Which race is after Saudi? Is it Miami? So from Miami, I would get to McLaren Mercedes eventually. 2 weeks ago, you planned everything to have McLaren and Mercedes after Japan. I planned... No, 2 weeks ago, I had planned to get McLaren Williams after, and then to get McLaren Mercedes after this triple header. So 2 weeks ago, the plan was actually the team two to go for McLaren Williams after Japan, and then after Saudi get to McLaren plus Mercedes after I've budget built it a bit. So so 2 weeks ago, this was actually the plan to go for McLaren Williams for a few weeks after Japan. But it is a tough one. It is a tough one. Again, these are the options. I think I'm leaning slightly towards number two. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of down to just take the 50-point loss on McLaren and hope that these. But basically, the goal is with this. The long-term goal is by avoiding this. Avoid this. And by having this, the better cheap drivers in Saudi, and then you know, I gain more budget so that once I get to this team, but on this, so once I get to this in like maybe in like Miami, so once I get to this in Miami, oh, what the fuck, my name? Sorry, whoops. Miami. Once I get to this team in Miami, these drivers can be better because I have more budget. Because I have more budget, these cheap drivers can be better cheap drivers eventually by avoiding. Because if I go to team one, I'm basically locked to Piastri, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, maybe Ocon for a long time. I'm worried you're just digging a big hole. I mean, I'm already like 400k in the world. I might as well play it differently. Like the hole has already been dug. Sorry guys for being repetitive, but is Haas really okay to have when they're doing so poorly? I think Haas is amazing. If the Racing Bulls with Ocon and Behrman would get me more points versus triple Haas. If you have Ocon and Behrman and then Haas as well, like if Haas does well, you gain infinite. So especially since you already have Ocon and Behrman, I feel like you might as well go for Haas and just triple dip and pray, right? Hope they have a single. A 50-point deficit is easy to overcome later down the line, especially if you don't wait too long to switch to McLaren. That's the thing. Like I am switching to McLaren next week. So the biggest problem with Team 2 is I don't have McLaren this week. Is it worth a -10 to go from Williams to Haas? No, not at all. I don't think that's worth. Can you change the sequence of transfers at option 1? E.g. do Norris to Piastri and Williams to McLaren to Mercedes this week? I think that's interesting. Let's see. Can I afford that? You are speaking some sense now, sir. You're not entirely You're not entirely wrong. I can't afford the Mercedes, though. I'm 0.4 million off. Otherwise, it was a really good suggestion. Again, the main point of Team 1 was to pick McLaren now. But I am 0.4 million off. No, sorry. But a really good suggestion, actually. I really appreciated that. Thank you for that suggestion. Oh, you're totally fine if you're just going without McLaren this week. Yeah, I mean, the main thing with Team 1 is that I want McLaren this week because I think McLaren are going to want to it again. And I kind of just want their points, right? So the main thing with Team 1 is like, that it is McLaren. That is the main reason for this. Main reason for this. So I think I'm leaning more toward budget. I think I can surmount this. I can survive not having McLaren. Is it that bad if I leave 10 million in the bank? Not at all. As long as you fill it out eventually. Like, I'm fine about leaving 10 million in the bank for like 1 or 2 races. But if you leave 10 million in the bank, I'm assuming it's because you're making multiple transfers working towards a better team, right? So for that reason, as long as you're working towards something to use with those 10 million, I think it's completely fine. It's a good question, though. Sorry to keep repeating, but Limitless gets you decent budget and possibly the biggest differential ever because of Ferrari, and you can still take McLaren next week even with a -10. All right, let's discuss the Limitless option, because Fraser is not entirely incorrect here. So what would this look like? I would Limitless. I guess it's sort of this second option, but it's a -10 included, right? And maybe it's McLaren plus Haas instead of Williams plus McLaren. Because I'm one transfer short. So it would be this. It would be this. It would be something like this as the transfers in, or whatever. So wait, when you use Limitless, oh guys, actually help me. Are you playing Limitless in, so that way you want to have a good team for Saudi? I don't think I'm playing Limitless in Miami. I think I'm playing Limitless in a single race weekend this year. I think I'm playing it like Limitless in like Hungary or something silly like that. I think I have looked into the math enough to commit to a single race weekend Limitless. Is everyone grabbing Stroll? I think Stroll is a really good grab this week. I think he's probably like the third or fourth best driver you could buy. I think Ocon and Behrman are above him, which is why I'm considering Behrman over him. And if I had Stroll, I would want to sell him later on. And right now I'm kind of short on transfers because I've already used my wild card. So, okay, Fraser's not entirely wrong here, right? I could go for Limitless, and then wait. Okay, if you Limitless, do you have 3 transfers the week after, or only 2? You only get 2, right? You don't like save a transfer when you Limitless, or am I incorrect? If you Limitless, you only get 2 transfers next year. You don't get extra. Only two. Yeah. So if I Limitless, essentially it's this team, but instead of McLaren plus Williams, it's McLaren plus Haas, and I have to take a -10 included. I don't think I'm doing that. I think I'm fine with saving Limitless for Monaco or Hungary. And I also want to make a full Limitless video guide for the channel, probably in the upcoming month or so, properly deep diving into the maths when it's optimal to use the Limitless. When do we stop budget building? I think after this week. So the reason for that is because after Japan, we're very likely to figure out how the budget building system works. And if it works anything like we're sort of suspecting, it's going to be quite easy for assets to rise in price if they just have 3 decent races in a row, like no DNF. If they DNF, they're going to decrease in price probably for 3 weeks in a row, especially if they're lower priced assets that don't score that many points. But it's going to be very easy for assets to rise in price, meaning that most assets that just perform normally are going to increase in price. So that way, budget building is not as powerful after Japan. So if you're full budget building like I am with 2 cheap constructors, I say you stop after Japan. Why Limitless in Monaco? Okay, so I'm not going to go into this too much right now, Derek. You can subscribe to the channel and there will be a full video guide out later. But essentially, in sprint weekends, like take Monaco for example, no one gets points in Monaco because there are no overtakes, no positions gained. So who gets the most points in Monaco? The top 5 assets. So if I can get the top 5 assets, those are the only points like you get in Monaco, essentially. And the point with Limitless is to earn more points than the people who don't use Limitless. Can you kind of see what I'm working with here? So whereas someone like a Hulkenberg, right? He got 20 points in Australia because he had 10 race positions gained. That doesn't happen in Monaco, right? Because there are no overtakes. You barely gain in positions unless there are like crazy crashes and rain strategies and you know, messing things. And in that case, I wouldn't use Limitless. So like Hulkenberg would just get 0 points. And like all the cheap assets, Albon, Ocon, like all the rookie drivers are just going to get 0 or negative or maybe +2 points if they have like 2 positions gained after 2 people crashed up in the front. Meanwhile, you have Norris getting 40 points. You have Piastri getting 25. You have Russell getting 25. You have all of these expensive drivers getting like 25 plus points, and none of the cheap drivers are getting any points whatsoever. Whereas like in a sprint weekend where many people do use their Limitless chip, in the sprint race, these cheap assets can earn a lot more points in the top side. So that's sort of the idea behind using Limitless in a week when where overtaking is difficult. Monaco is one, but Monaco is dangerous because obviously you can hit the wall at any time and suddenly your Limitless is awful. So the one I'm leaning towards the most is actually Hungary. Hungary is really, really difficult for overtakes. DRS trains are super common there, and the track itself is way safer than Monaco. So currently I'm leaning towards Hungary for my Limitless this year. But again, that's not set in stone. I'm going to look properly into the math, like what week last year would have been the best for Limitless. But I could see like Limitless in Suzuka I don't think is that bad if you're in the right position for it. I personally don't think I'm in the right position for it. Okay. I need to kind of lock in my team, or at least lock in which strategy I'm going with. I think I'm doing Team 2. It was 55% in favor of Team 1, but I think I can, it's close enough in vote, and I do think I can make up for the fact I don't have McLaren this race by the budget, and hopefully you guys can see that, like, the difference in budget is actually going to be close to 1.6 million between these two options. Is any scenario where we can get Norris plus McLaren? Yes, but only if you do like McLaren plus Haas, right? I would go with Team 2. Yep. All right. Let's do a quick pit stop over on my second and third team, right? So here we have my Team 2. It's the McLaren Williams team. Unfortunately, I had Pierre Gasly. This team is super easy. I feel like I'm just running McLaren, Williams, Piastri, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Bortoli. I committed to, so I haven't used, I didn't use my wildcard in this team. I basically committed to just having Bortoletto for the rest of eternity on this team. The one move I have to make on this team is selling Gasly. And the super easy option to bring in is Esteban Ocon. Ocon is the most likely driver to increase in price. I think Ocon is the most must-have asset of the cheaper drivers. So I think I'm just buying Ocon here with one transfer, saving transfers for next week. And hopefully this team continues to click along. So this is an easy change for me. Gasly gotta go, Ocon in. Similarly, this is my crazy budget building team that I wildcarded on that started the season on minus 12 points. It's just a really, really bad team. So similarly, I'm going to go for Ocon here, and we just keep praying. I might as well go for Yuki Tsunoda here, just because it's fun, right? So let's just do Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon. Boom. Boom. Perfect. But this third team is literally useless. Like, it's completely dog. Race for us a guaranteed Hulk swap on 9% teams unless he pulls another 20 point like Australia. Yeah, I think so too. For sure. Lol, Team 3 for the W. I mean, Team 3 started the season with negative 12 points and like 97.6 budget. So it's literally worse than starting a new account. Speaking of, okay, you guys want to see something crazy? Right, so this is my main team, which started the season on like 70 points, lost like 1.5 million budget. Already on 101.9 million, which is not bad. Let me bring up what I started on okay, hold on. I need to just log in, because I did talk about this. I'm starting an experiment. There we go. What is this? Huh? New team? Yeah, so I have a second account. Because my teams were so bad in Melbourne, I started a second account from China. A fresh account in China, 100 million budgets. And this was the team I picked. And you can see that it performed quite well. Obviously, Haas would have been better here. But look at the budget, like perfect across the board. And look at the budget if I remove this. Look where I'm at. 103.2 million? Hello? Who's this? I wonder when I can afford Mercedes here. It's a bit far away, I think. Yeah, I need a few more things to go my way. So I think this week... What do we even change with this team? Nothing? Like, this team is perfect, no? Granted, like, this is just an experiment, but... What do we think of this team? Should I make a change? Considering, like, the budget builder, the assets most likely to increase in price are these 4. So the team looks kind of perfect. Okay, wait, what did Abhijit say? Antonelli to Stroll, Albon to Behrman, and -10 from Williams to McLaren. There you go. Okay. Abhijit might be cooking, guys. Abhijit might be cooking. Maybe Williams to Haas on this team? I don't know why I'm doing that for, though. The ultimate goal on this team is to get to Mercedes as well. I think for now... Also, by the way, after Nico Hülkenberg increases in price this week and Fernando Alonso drops another 0.6, like, Fernando Alonso after Bahrain, like in Saudi, Alonso's actually going to be the best asset in the game. No? I think this team, I literally just roll transfers and just stick with this. I guess I could make one transfer for free. So I guess I could do Williams to Haas. I guess I could do that. Okay. I am gonna say... But do I think Haas will outscore Williams? Maybe they will. I'll triple up on Haas on this team. Sure. Okay. With this strat, you'll get Norris plus McLaren on your main account. Okay, well, I'm gonna look into this in a second. Well, we're just gonna do this, and then we have the second time's the charm crazy team here. We're definitely selling this for Haas. There you go. Perfect. Let's go back and change this. Let's see, where am I? Let's go into the real account. There we go. All right. Abhijit has cooked for us. What was the cook? It was in -10. Okay, let's see. Antonelli to Stroll. Albon to Behrman. Okay. I like that. I like that. That is not bad. Stroll and Behrman. And then we had Williams to McLaren. Let me focus. Okay. It's a -10. I get McLaren in there. That's good. I avoid all the bad assets. True. Plan for Bahrain. How do I get McLaren Mercedes from here? I only have 2 transfers. I probably stick with this. At least in, so we get to Bahrain. Okay, wait, we need another MS Paint here. I need to draw this up. I think Abhijit is cooking. Okay, I think Abhijit is actually cooking. Okay, so we do a -10 now for McLaren. Let's see. Let's do Stroll and Behrman. Okay? For a -10. Positives here. We get the best drivers, best constructor, we lose -10. But -10, I'm fine with taking a -10 hit. Then, okay, so this is in Japan. This is in Japan. Then we get to Bahrain. I have 2 transfers. And the only thing there, Hulkenberg probably needs to be sold, right? So in that, we do Hulk to 1 driver. Like this, you know, whichever one of the cheaper drivers that look better. Another -10 though. I think I have a better plan. So in Bahrain, we literally just sell Hulkenberg because Hulkenberg likely needs to be sold in terms of budget building for Bahrain unless he has a really good race in Japan. We sell Hulkenberg to 1 cheap driver that looks good. It could be Hadjar, it could be Bortoleto, just one of the drivers that look decent out of the cheap assets to just a cheap driver. Cheap driver, right? And then in Saudi, we would have 3 free transfers, right? We have, imagine this now, yeah, we get Hulkenberg out of here for probably, let's just say Bortoleto now, for now. And we would have even more budget in the bank here. It would be like Bortoleto would be 0.2 million cheaper when we buy him, meaning that we would have another 0.6 here. We would be on 5.2. Hulkenberg would likely increase as well. Let's assume it's a 5. So let's just assume we have like 5.4 million in the bank here. With 5.4 million in the bank and 3 free transfers, we can do Haas out, and this is in Saudi, for Mercedes, Norris out for Piastri, and at that point, I don't want Stroll in Saudi anymore. Oh, we can definitely afford that. This is all... Okay. Actually, Hulk to Alonso, yes, but not yet. I'm down to do Hulk to Alonso in Saudi, but Hulk still... you have to remember that Alonso's going to carry a DNF for an additional race because he DNF'd in this as well. Okay, Abiji's actually cooked. No. Abiji's actually cooked this so hard. It's a -10. I get McLaren... I just avoid all of the drivers that I want to avoid, and then I can like super easily afford McLaren, Mercedes, and Saudi. Oh no, yeah. Abiji's 100%. Okay, actually, hold up. I'm liking this more and more the more I look at it. I'm liking this more and more the more I look at it. Can I like do something? There's not. I can't like VIP Abhijit or something. I don't have mods set up, but if we were on Twitch, I'd VIP or something Abhijit because I think you actually hard cooked. I actually think you hard cooked. Yeah. I think actually Abhijit has cooked. Okay. We're doing it. I'm committed. I actually love this. I actually love this plan. I get rid of the 2 drivers I want to get rid of for budget building anyway. I get McLaren in there. There's literally nothing to... There's nothing I dislike about this plan. There's actually nothing I dislike about this plan. There's actually nothing I dislike about this. This live stream is the best. Where was this? Derek says it's a better short strategy, but then you are going to take longer to get out of Haas to Merc. That's the thing. Not really, though. It's like equally long as the other plan. I just... Yeah. I get McLaren, Mercedes, in Saudi instead of in Bahrain. But like that's fine. Do you prefer Williams, Haas, or V-Carb? It's really close. Literally for Abhijit's change. Literally made Abhijit's change from -10 VIP. That dude. Okay, so I wish I could. I gotta look into that, but IPG's been here before, so I'll do that. I'll do that later. Once I've figured out how to do that on YouTube. I'm not that good on YouTube streaming, but yeah, I think IPG is hard cooked. There's nothing I dislike about this plan. -10, I don't care. Like I'll happily take a -10 to get McLaren in here for this week, and then I just make one transfer in Saudi. Dude, this plan is actually goated. So here we do, we get, and then yeah. Just locked in my ABG's. Yeah, okay, hold on. Is everyone just doing ABG's move? Alright, hold up. It's time. Okay, I'm sorry I haven't done any of the team submissions, guys. I've been too involved in my own team. Okay, it's time. So this is just it's time for Abhijit #1. Abhijit's #1 tip of the week. Tip of the week. Abhijit's #1 tip of the week, guys. That's the new segment. That's what it's called now. That's my alarm that I should be heading to work. I can hold it for a bit longer. I can hold it for a bit longer. Abhijit's #1 tip of the week is going to be... I forgot what my own tip of the week was, but Abhijit's tip of the week is McLaren plus the budget boys. Let's call them the budget boys. And then just like add a couple of -10s in here. -10, -10, -10. Abhijit's #1 tip of the week is McLaren plus the budget boys. What are the budget boys? The budget boys are these guys. Look at these guys. Such good budget potential on these guys. These are the budget boys. Ocon, Stroll, Behrman, Hulkenberg, the squad. Alright, I'm locking in that move now. I actually like that change so much to my original plan. It's actually not even funny. It's actually not even funny. Harsh says, new F1 fans doing well, top 10k overall. Sheesh. Russell, Behrman, Ocon, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Merkin said three transfer. What would you suggest? Ooh, Russell, Behrman, Ocon, Hadjar, Bortoleto. I mean, listen, you're kind of stuck on Hadjar and Bortoleto. You committed to them. I would say just hold them for now. You're gonna eat a couple of budget losses on them. But I mean, you have McLaren Merkel ready, so I think you're fine. In terms of Behrman, Ocon, you probably have the best assets, really. Really difficult team to change. I think the goal would be for you to like eventually get Russell to Piastri. But yeah, I mean, team looks good, right? You're kind of locked in on that strategy already. All right, so I'm taking a -10 this week. I'm not gonna even pretend that this was my idea. It is definitely Abhijit's plan 100%. But the plan was that good that I had to jump on it. This does literally everything that I wanted. Sure, it's a -10, but yeah, the Abhijit train, guys. Choo choo. Yeah, you're also the Abhijit train. Thank you, Adam, by the way. If you don't follow FanAmp, definitely do that on all the platforms. Okay, so we have Esteban Ocon. Okay, and we need to do this in the proper order. I am one of those guys. I need to have my drivers in price order. Otherwise, okay. So this is my plan. Boom. We're making Kimi Antonelli, Alex Albon, and Williams out for Stroll, Behrman, and McLaren. Basically, get McLaren's points, get the best budget guys in the team, and then we probably make one transfer in Saudi, either Hulkenberg or Stroll, or if any of our other drivers DNF'd and we need to get them out, we do one transfer in Saudi only, And then in Bahrain only. And then in Saudi, we will have 3 free transfers, which means that we can move our team around very easily and get Haas over to a McLaren plus Mercedes build. So that's the plan. Fantastic idea by ABG to do the -10 this week in order to keep the budget building going. Would you prefer Stroll over Albon? Yes, I heavily prefer Stroll over Albon this week in Japan. Going forward, not so much, but for Stroll, for sure. So Stroll is more likely to increase in price, and I mean, he's been performing quite well points-wise as well, and I think, Stroll is just better for points and budget right now than Albon is. That probably changes in a few weeks' time, but oh, for sure, he can DNF easy, but like, Stroll is kind of a rain beast, no? Stroll had a really good rain race in Suzuka a few years ago as well. I think the goal is to sell Stroll in Saudi, where he is very crash prone. No negative does not remove -10s for additional transfers. It only removes things for point scoring categories on your assets. Good question though, Jake. All right, this is the plan. We confirm it. Boom. That is done. Oh, I love that. Okay, this is the team. Norris, Stroll, Ocon, Behrman, Hulkenberg, McLaren, and Haas. I forgot to switch Hulkenberg and Behrman. That's going to bug me for forever. I'll sort it out for next week. All right, let's do a few quick team submissions. I have to get to work. So I'm very sorry. Normally, I try and go through every team submission I can. I'm not going to be able to do that this year. So I'm only going to do the people who have posted it today. So if you posted it yesterday, I'm so sorry, but I want to confirm that people are actually in chats. So team submissions channel on the Discord. Make sure you're in it for future race weekends. We have... I'm just going to go down the list and see what interesting things I can see. We have no information here from Mehmetis D. Piastri, Ocon. I mean, the team looks good, yeah, right? We have Behrman, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Piastri, McLaren, Williams. One thing you could do if you want to budget build is Albon down to Stroll, which is what I've done today. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. You want to stick with Albon with the points together with Williams. I think that's completely reasonable. But yeah, team looking good. McLaren, Williams looks like a good archetype going forward for a bit as well. I think the goal with the budget building from Williams is to eventually get that up to a Mercedes. We have Daniel having McLaren Racing Bulls, very interesting. I think that's a bit of a differential. I think a lot of people who are on budget building strategies are on Haas or Williams, not really on Racing Bulls. And then he's gotten the Tsunoda in there. Oh, he has the picture. I don't have the Tsunoda picture. Mine is dark. Team looks good. I think the Tsunoda pick is super interesting. I hope it works out for you, man. What should you do? Piastri, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Stroll, Ferrari, Haas. You have to sell Ferrari. Ferrari are must-sells, in my opinion, because they're very unlikely to increase in price, and you're going to fall behind a lot of other assets. I would probably do Antonelli down to something, Ferrari up to McLaren. So you do Ferrari up to McLaren, and then Antonelli down to whatever you can afford that you like. This could be Behrman if you want to go for budget building. It could be Albon if you want to go for a bit more points. But that's what I would do, Licketh. I believe in fairy tales. I like the chance on a Yuki Dream here. Want to keep McLaren, change Racing Bulls to Haas. Interesting. All right, good luck, man. I hope it works out for you. Mom playing F1 with my college kids. This is my team. Change Hadjar to Ocon. And Williams to Haas. Hadjar to Ocon and Williams to Haas. I think that's a fantastic move. You avoid the guaranteed drop in price of Hadjar. You can get Hadjar back later. I think Haas are equally fine to pick as Williams. And yeah, I mean, you're essentially moving to my team now. Yeah, it's literally my team that I have now. But I think it's a good team. I think it's actually like one of the best teams you could build at this point. Massive one here. High rain. I can't fit Ross for Antonelli by 0.1 million. Unlucky. So my options are stick with this for one more race. Another option is downgrade Mercedes to something like a Haas and put Norris over Antonelli. Maybe Stroll over Bortoletto with -10 with 2.3. But I think you don't do that. So I don't know who this is. Okay, let's just boom. Payball. I don't think you do that because like I think everyone's goal, like ultimate goal in this season, is going to be to get to McLaren plus Mercedes. Granted, you lose a bit out on budget here, but I think for Bortoletto, you've already eaten the budget loss. You might as well just keep Bortoletto for the rest of the season, essentially. Because if you never sell Bortoletto, his price drop doesn't exist. Like, his price drop is not real unless you actually sell him. So if you actually want to do something here, I think sticking with Antonelli 2x is fine. I know it kind of stinks. But what you also could do is just trade Antonelli for Yuki. Like, I'm actually not even joking. Just do Antonelli to Yuki and hope that Yuki gets driver of the day and like a P5 driver of the day. I think Yuki could definitely outscore Antonelli if he has a just decent race. And he's definitely in contention for driver of the day. So I could maybe see myself going for that if you just want to make one transfer. But I agree, it is unfortunate that you can't get Russell here. The other option would be to like downgrade Ocon, Behrman, or Hulkenberg and then upgrade Antonelli to a Russell. But I feel like that's also not what you want to do because Ocon, Behrman, and Hulkenberg are such good options to have. So I would either just stick with this team for another race, or I would actually just go for Yuki for one race and at least hope that he outscores Antonelli. I know it's crazy, but I mean, you might as well shoot for the stars. But I would not like take -10s to switch to Haas here, because I think you have the optimal team with McLaren plus Mercedes, which is what people are going to be working towards. You just have it earlier, and you just gotta hope that pays off down the line. Thinking of swapping, I have to get to work. Thinking of swapping Antonelli and Albon for Piastri and Stroll. Thinking of swapping Antonelli and Albon for Piastri and Stroll. Looks really good. Yeah, I love that switch. Love that switch. I mean, it is my team, right? But you have Williams instead of Haas and some more money in the bank. All right, I think that's all I can do for now. I'm really, really sorry. I spent so much time looking at my own team, but it was such an interesting one that I kind of had to. I'm really sorry that I have to cut this stream short. I would love to go all the way up to the deadline stream, but I literally could not get off work. There's too much to do this Saturday morning. But next week, we are back at a proper, reasonable European time, European afternoon. It's gonna be like the classic deadline stream from like 2 to 4 p.m. Central European time. So we're actually gonna be back to a regular streaming schedule by then, and I'm super, super excited. It sucks to leave now. You know, we're working our way up. The deadline is in an hour and 20 minutes, but I actually have to go, or else I'm not gonna have a job tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked the stream, please make sure you do so. Let's try and get to 100 likes. We're only 23 likes away. There's like 168 people in here. So please get a few extra likes into the stream. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, ABG, for that suggestion. That is probably the best chat suggestion I've seen since I started streaming, in terms of like something I hadn't considered that just actually works really, really well for what I'm trying to do with my team. So thank you so much for that. A -10 feels totally acceptable. So again, to remind you what my transfers were, it is Antonelli and Albon and Williams out for Stroll, Behrman, and McLaren. We're hoping for massive budget increases. Goal is McLaren plus Mercedes plus Piastri build in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the channel Monday for team selection. Weekend preview video is going to be back next week. And then maybe I can get the Limitless video out next week. If not, it's going to be the weekend after that. But 2 or 3 videos this week coming, and then another deadline stream, of course, next week, normal time. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave you with that now. Yeah, I'll see you in the next live stream. Again, thank you so much for joining me this Saturday morning. Goodbye.